So now for problem number 8, we have the square root of 28 minus 2m equals the square root of 2m minus 12. So remember, our goal is to get x equals some stuff on the other side of the equal sign. In other words, we want to isolate the variable, or in this case, instead of x, what would we say? M, right? Well, how do we do that? We do the opposite, the inverse function. So right now I'm doing second root. So to undo taking the second root, in other words, I'm taking a square root. To undo that, I just square it. And as long as I do it to both sides, that's a legal move. So then what happens, this cancels with this, and this cancels with this, and so I end up with 28 minus 2m equals 2m minus 12. And then from here, I'm going to add 2m to both sides, trying to get the m on one side. And I'll get 28 equals 4m minus 12. I want to get m by itself and all the other stuff on the other side, so I'm going to add 12. Whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do on the other. This becomes 40 equals 4m. 4m means that you're multiplying 4 times m. To move the 4 away from the end, the m, you do the opposite. You divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is just 1. 1 times m is m. And then 40 divided by 4 is just 10. That's pretty easy. Oh, wait a second. When we take the square root, we have to consider the positive and negative solution. Sometimes the negative solution doesn't work. So in other words, you might think, well, what about negative 10, right? Because we have the square roots. When we square them, we don't want to forget about the positive or negative solution. So you could just real quick just plug in the negative and see if it works. So if I say 28 minus, or I'm sorry, let me start over here. Oops. So just off to the side, I'm going to say 28 minus 2. I know the 10 works, but what if I do negative 10? Will that equal 2 times negative 10 minus 12? So over here, I've got 28 plus 20. So this would be positive 48. Yeah, let me move my face over here. Over here, this becomes negative 20. So you got negative 20 minus 12. And then you have negative 32. You can't take the square root of a negative number, so that's why we omit or don't consider the negative 10. Okay, so always plug in both the positive and negative and make sure it works. All right. Usually the principal root works. It's just the negative root that you might have an issue with.